The Binding of Isaac is a game about religion, household trauma, and a dumb 5-year-old with tears that could dissolve the skin of Satan himself. But, have you ever wondered where this all started? Well, if you played the game, you know, it starts off with Isaac drawing, and his dad recapping how you've got yourself into this mess. To recap though, you're Isaac, and you live on a hill with you and your overly religious mother. You're just chilling, then Jesus is like, yeah, Maggie. That's mom's name if you didn't know. Kill your son. He's impure, haha. And your mom's like, I'm gonna get ya. And then, you hop into your basement. Like, who would do that? The thing is, though, this is just a tip of the iceberg for Isaac lore. And I'll be getting into that and a bit more in this video. Snuggle up and get some snacks because this might be a wild ride and a pain in the ass to edit. So, first, it'll be fitting to talk about the lore, seeing that it might make it easier to understand the rest of the game. Most of it is basic Christian knowledge like Satan, angels, the horsemen, and the deadly sins. But there's also more obscure stuff like Jacob and Esau, the Star of Bethlehem, depending if you think that's a bit deeper, and worst of all, Isaac himself. To start, the character that starts you off with, and the one we'll probably be talking about the most, Isaac. In the book Genesis, Isaac is the son of Abraham and Sarah. Both of them I've never heard of, so it's probably not important. But the most important thing is that he's the father of Jacob and Esau, the two characters I've mentioned being more obscure in the Bible. And I'll be getting into them later, but the thing is, Isaac, like in the Bible, was in the same predicament as Isaac in the game, both being about to be sacrificed, but saved at the last moment. Thing is, Bible Isaac was saved by God, while game Isaac was gonna be killed by, supposedly, God. Bit odd, don't you think? Other important characters that I should get into, but don't really mean anything to the lore because it's just Isaac playing make-believe, would be Mary Magdalene, mother of Jesus, Judas, one of Jesus' disciples that betrayed Jesus, Azazel, the demon Isaac thinks he is, and a few other like Samson, Lazarus, Eve, Eden, and Lilith. And characters from the latest DLC, Repentance, like Bethany. The last 6 characters I listed mean nothing to Isaac lore, because it's just him playing make-believe, I'm pretty sure. He's just being a child and dressing up. But there are 4 characters that mean a lot. Question mark, also known as Blue Baby, the Keeper, the Forgotten, and the Lost, all depicting Isaac's death. Throughout the game, after you beat bosses, you get endings that unlock new items and new areas to fight more bosses. These bosses range from your mother's heart, your mother's unborn fetus, a blue stain on the ground, a lamb skeleton, Blue Baby like the character that you can play as, Isaac himself, Satan, and a beast we'll talk about later. The first few bosses is Mom, her heart, and her baby. I'll do nothing for lore in terms of the endings, but after killing the heart tons of times, you'll unlock a place called the Blue Womb, which holds a person called Hush. Hush gives you an ending, don't know if it gives you it anymore, where Isaac's missing. Everything is grey, cold, and dank. Not dank like the memes my pal Sonny, like wink wink. And it zooms into the house that used to be filled with love. There's a chest with flies circling it. Isaac's mother, Maggie, silhouette, lurks over the chest, only for it to pop open, showing Isaac's skeleton in a similar pose to what it looks like when unlocking the Forgotten. There's also an ending where after you kill a boss, I think it's Mom's heart where it lives, Blue Baby comes out of the chest and scares Isaac. I'll put it on screen when I'm talking because I don't want to go in depth about it because it's kind of boring and there's not much to talk about. Another ending is after beating Greed Mode. I'll get into that later. In this ending, you're shown Isaac in a cave, confused and scared, only for rocks to come down and the screen to fade to black to simulate that time flies by. Then it fades to Keeper, aka Isaac, dead. The Keeper smiles for some reason. Then there's ending number 20. You get that for beating the worst boss in the game. I'll get to that in the future, but just give me a second. Again, shows Isaac dead. A lot of these endings show Isaac dying. Like, sheesh, give my goat a break. And then there's number 21, where after you beat Mother, it shows Isaac doing his thing and drawing. Maggie walks into the room and sees that Isaac is drawing. She notices it's depicting her in a negative light. So Maggie decides to punish Isaac by curb stomping him into the closet to shiver and cry for an undetermined amount of time, stuck in a closet with his demons. All these endings show Isaac being tortured, killed, or just abused. Isaac's always depicted in bad situations and can never catch a break. There's just one more ending noteworthy of talking about, but I'll get into that later. Oh my god, this is my video. Let me talk about things when I want to talk about them. Well, to put it bluntly, I love the gameplay of Isaac. Isaac's a 2D roguelike with randomly generated rooms, and awesome sprite work, sound design, music, and level design. Bosses and characters have good design in terms of look and the way they fight you. Some explode, some shoot tears at you, and some mock your movements down to every input. This game has tons of modding capability too. The modding community adds tons of things like resprites, new bosses, new items, and even new features like different floors and changing the way some items even work. But that's besides the point. Isaac's a game where you could sit down and play it while you sit in a Discord call talking to your friends about random things. Well, your pal Theo talks about introvert poop for some reason. If you don't have any friends, then yikes. Anyways, this game has tons of unlocks. Like, a ton. 637 Steam achievements, actually. I only have 476 at the time I'm writing the script, but in the latest DLC Repentance, Isaac has a whopping 716 items. To put that in perspective, that is 716 unique sprites, 716 unique things these items do, and 716 cool doodads and knickknacks to remember. Who would do that? Anyways, Isaac's just not a game about items, but also the bosses. The bosses are fun and have some decent lore significance, like what I've said earlier about angels, Satan, the deadly sins, ECT. The lore significance is pretty basic. It's basically just what Isaac has learned to now projecting while he's in the chest. The bosses are not only fun, but also have cool attack patterns most of the time. But they also have cool designs. Designs like Clutch, Windmill, the Heretic, and Mother. Another godlike boss is called the Beast. It's your mother again, but demonic and deformed, only being recognizable by her dress that is frayed and worn down. This boss has tons of cool mechanics and a mini boss rush at the beginning. The best part about this boss was the ending. I was talking about this in the last chapter, but the ending starts off with Isaac ascending to the heavens. Isaac sees all the bad in his life, all things that make his life awful, but as it goes on, Isaac moves on then throws all that's keeping him down. These things are represented as Blue Baby and the Lost. I've said that earlier Blue Baby and the Lost was Isaac, but dead, so basically it's him moving on past his death, and him ascending to heaven. After he moves past it, he sees everything he loved about his life. He saw his parents not fighting, his pet cat, and then it cuts to Isaac and his dad talking to each other. It's them bonding and making stories together. To put it simply, Isaac's dad and Isaac makes the story happy. And it starts over from the beginning with the house on the hill. But the thing is, you can't have the good without the bad, so... Oh, does this game make me want to end it so many times. I could go on and on about the things that drive me off the head with this game. I'll start with the very minuscule things, like items that ruin synergies. Synergies in this game is what makes it fun. Items combine together to make effects of tears stronger and cooler. Thing is, items like Mom's knife could ruin them easily. Mom's knife on itself is actually one of the strongest items in game. The knife, making it easier to shred bosses in mere seconds, but it doesn't like to combine with other items, making it really bad on God synergy runs. Especially if the run makes you shoot out tons and tons of tears, making you essentially God. But the thing is, these problems can be easily fixed by two easy options. 1. Get mods that fix synergies. I really recommend this option because it can actually make the game funner. It makes it funner by adding even more cooler things to the game, like cooler synergies? Second option is just to not pick up the item. It's not that hard. You think an item will ruin your run? Don't pick it up. Now getting into even worse territory. Unlocks. God, it drives me crazy. This might just be me because I have a low attention span, but God, I hate doing runs upon runs upon runs. It's the same character, just waiting for a good start, just to even get a chance at fighting the worst boss ever, Delirium. I'll talk about that in a second. Game modes like Greed and Greedier makes it worse because it adds an extra run I'll have to do with Tainted Blue Baby. Not getting into the tainted characters in this video. That pushes me ever so closely to ending it. Oh, God, some of the bosses. Delirium and Mother, I'm looking at you. This makes it so I have to do another run. Plus, these bosses suck so much dookie. If you played Isaac, you know that Delirium likes to teleport on you and instantly kill you. And Mother just throws random stuff at you till it either kills you or you kill it. Oh, I have a love-hate relationship with Isaac. I have 225 hours just on Steam, Isaac. And I got even more on my Switch, and it's just... Ugh. These bosses don't get better with time. They really don't. Worst part is, it's not even practice makes perfect. It's perfect practice makes perfect. And perfecting an Isaac boss is so hard. Oh, and you know how I said I'd get into Jacob and Esau? Oh, they are such a good character. If you haven't played Isaac, then you would be like, oh, why didn't you say characters? Well, the thing is, this character is a 2-for-1 special. Basically, what I'm saying is, have fun walking around with 2 hitboxes that you have to balance out that take their own HP, stat ups, and items. So you have a powerhouse Chad that is Esau, but then is the poor little baby that Jacob is, weighing you down, only for you to get sniped from across the room and die instantly because you didn't know Jacob was on half a heart, and okay, I'm getting carried away. So, as a summary, Isaac's a hella fun game with deep and saddening lore, great art, music, and game design, but it needs to work on its flaws. And the thing is, these flaws are really minuscule when you look at it, because all the positives just blow the negatives away. Thing is, this is just the tip of the iceberg in terms of Isaac, and I'm sure my pal Sonny will end up saying more than I have to say about Isaac, and how it's a good game, and I'm just saying, if you have some cash to blow, then this game is hella good, and it makes me feel funky.